It was a day that uprooted and devastated parts of Birmingham. It's 10 years ago today that a tornado rampaged through Birmingham, leaving a trail of destruction in its path in places such as Morsley and King's Heath. So could you tell us a little bit about where you were on the day of the tornado in 2005?
I had a load of laundry to do, so I was just taking it to the laundrette, and the sky started getting darker and darker and darker and darker. It really started raining so heavily, and the wind was blowing, and there were bits of trees swirling around, little sticks and branches, and the windows of the laundrette started to bow in a little, and we had to really push hard to get a group of us together to get the door shut and bolted.
Martin, could you tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Birmingham tornado in 2005?
Well, at the time I was councillor for Moseley and King's Heath ward, where we're just on the edge of the ward. So the tornado went straight through the heart of the ward that I represented at the time and caused its biggest devastation just here, immediately behind where I'm standing now, which was just on the edge of the ward. Now, when you have emergencies, we can't just keep to our own little boundaries. You've got to help as much as you can, even outside the wards that you're representing. So in the 28 days after the tornado, I spent almost every day here at this very spot where the headquarters were, helping people, going out there, collecting information for the officers, finding out where there was trees, doing what I could to help.
And how important do you think it is that the Birmingham tornado is remembered 10 years on?
Well, at the time, it was devastating for this community. Don't forget, this is where it hit, just here. It's one of the poorest communities in Britain. And this had a devastating effect. People were left homeless, had the roofs ripped off the houses, so they were, for weeks, could not go back to their homes. Shopkeepers who rely on the income from the businesses, again, they couldn't get back into their shops for weeks. So around here, it was a devastating effect, and I think we should always remember it because, forces of nature can hit us any time unexpectedly.
Can you tell us about some of the areas that are most devastated by the tornado?
Well, where we're standing now, this is where the most devastation happened. So we're here at the junction of Church Road and Ladypool Road, and behind these shops, is Birchwood Road and Alder Road, where that was the worst devastation, where roofs were completely ripped off the houses, and we had to find accommodation for over 100 people that night, and they couldn't go back to their houses for weeks afterwards. For the shops behind me here, again, the roofs had been lifted off and landed back on their properties, and we couldn't allow them in for at least another week into their businesses. And we had trees blown all over. Trees are over 100 years old, with big trunk blown over in people's gardens, blown over into the roads, blocking roads. You could not on the day travel around this area because there's trees across all the roads.
More than 20 people were left injured across the south of the city, and over £40 million worth of damage was caused by winds reaching up to 130 miles per hour. The accounts and photos of those that were there allow us to remember the incredible scenes from that day. This is Joseph Driscoll for the Midland.